My body's too big, human. I'm not breeding material. But he held her, loved her, and got her pregnant. The war was over. The air still smelled of fire and metal. Smoke rose from broken ships, and pieces of dead machines lay everywhere. But in the middle of the silence, something was moving. She was not dead. Her name was Velari, a tall alien warrior from a powerful race called the Jurin. Her body was made for war 7 feet tall, heavy armor, glowing purple eyes, and thick, silver skin that shimmered like metal. But today, even her strong body was shaking. Her armor was cracked. Her left leg was broken. She could not move, and no one came for her. Her people had left her behind. They believed a Jurin female that large could not bond, could not breed, could not carry life. She was just muscle, they said. Good for war, not for love. Now the war was done, and so was she. But someone was walking toward her through the smoke. He wasn't big, not like her. He was a human, small in size, but standing tall. Dirty uniform. Scars on his face. A metal arm. He looked tired, but his eyes were bright, calm, brave. Velari narrowed her glowing eyes. "Leave," she said, voice rough. "I am not breeding material. I am no use." He didn't stop. He walked closer, one step at a time, until he stood in front of her broken body. He looked up at her with soft eyes. "You're hurt," he said simply. Velari blinked. "I told you. Leave me." "I heard you," he replied, and then knelt down beside her. His hands gently touched her armor, checking the damage. "But I don't listen to stupid orders." She stared at him. "Do you know who I am?" "I know what you are," he said. "Alive." She let out a sharp laugh that turned into a cough. "Why help me?" "Your people fear mine." "My people fear what they don't know," he said. "But I'm not afraid." He looked up at her. Again. "What's your name?" She paused. No one had asked her that in years. Not since she was taken into the warrior class. "Velari." "I'm Tom," he said, smiling. "I'm going to get you out of here." She shook her head. I'm heavy. Too large. You'll break your back. Then I'll break it with style." She stared at him, searching for a lie in his voice, but found none. Slowly, her breathing changed. Her heart slowed. No one had touched her with care in years. No one had looked at her with anything other than fear or disgust. But Tom was different. He pulled out a small scanner and frowned. "Your leg's bad, and you've got plasma burns on your side. I need to carry you. Are you mad?" She said, "Yes," he replied with a grin, sliding his metal arm under her back. "Now shut up and let me save you." When he lifted her, her body tensed. He was so small. Her arms were longer than his legs. She could crush him with one hand, but his grip was firm, his heart strong. She leaned her head against his chest. No one had ever held her like this. Not even her mother. They walked through fire and ash, slow but steady. The war-torn field was empty now. Ships had left. The loud noise was gone. Only wind and smoke remained. And in the middle of it, a human carried an alien who believes she didn't deserve to live. She whispered. "I'm not made for bonding, not made for love. My kind says I'm too big, too wrong." He didn't answer for a while. Then, softly, he said, "Then your kind is blind." Velari's throat tightened. Her eyes burned. She hated how weak she felt, but at the same time, it felt like warmth. She looked down at him, and for the first time, she saw not a soldier, not a rescuer, but a man. He wasn't afraid of her size. He wasn't angry at her scars. He didn't care about the lies she had been told all her life. He just held her like she mattered. They reached the edge of a human camp. Medical drones flew overhead, scanning the area. Is this your home? She asked, voice soft. Tom looked up at her. No, but maybe we can find a new one, together. Velari didn't speak. Her eyes were wet. As the drones flew closer, Tom tightened his grip on her, and Velari, giant, broken, forgotten, allowed herself to hope for the first time. Velari had never known silence, not the peaceful kind. At least, the silence she knew was the stillness after a battle thick with smoke, pain, and the buzzing of broken weapons. But now, lying on a human-sized bed in a quiet room filled with soft lights and warm air, she was hearing a different kind of silence, and it terrified her. The room was too small for her. Her knees touched the end of the bed. Her shoulders brushed both sides of the walls, yet it felt safe, clean. She could smell something strange, something soft and sweet. Flowers? She didn't know. The door slid open with a quiet hum. Tom walked in, carrying a strange-looking bowl. It steamed gently. Soup, he said, placing it on the small table beside her. Human comfort food. Helps with healing. Velari narrowed her eyes. Your food smells like plants, he grinned. That's because it is plants. Welcome to human cooking. She tried to sit up, wincing. Her broken leg was wrapped in some kind of soft white material. Human technology had sealed her wounds faster than her body could. Tom placed a cushion behind her back. She flinched slightly at the closeness, but didn't push him away. I should not be here, she said finally. Why? He asked, picking up a spoon. This is a human base. You're a guest? I am a Jurin, she said coldly. Your enemies. Tom paused, spoon midair. Were. She said nothing. He sat down beside her, leaning back in the chair with a tired sigh. You know what I've learned in this war, Velari? She didn't answer. He continued, that the people who start wars are never the ones who bleed the most. It's always the soldiers. The ones who never ask to fight. Velari turned her head away. I was made for war. Trained since birth. I don't know what peace smells like. He smiled sadly. Then let's figure it out together. Over the next few days, Velari healed faster than the humans expected. Her body was built for survival. But her mind, her heart, that was slower. She stayed inside the small room. Everything felt tiny chairs that broke under her weight, clothes that didn't fit, mirrors that made her look monstrous. She avoided looking too long, but Tom visited her every day, sometimes with food, sometimes just to sit. He spoke about simple things, earth music, strange earth animals, the stars. He told jokes, some were bad. Some made her lips twitch. One night, he brought her a strange metal object. What is this? She asked. A hairbrush. Velari blinked. What does it do? It untangles hair. She looked at her long, wild black hair that fell past her waist like tangled wires. She had never brushed it. Never had time. Never cared. Tom gently lifted a few strands. May I? She froze but nodded once. He sat behind her and began brushing. Slowly, carefully. The sensation was new, light, calming. Velari closed her eyes. In that moment, she forgot about her size, her scars, her people's cruel voices. She felt beautiful, but peace never lasts. That morning, Velari woke up sweating. Her heartbeat was fast, too fast. Her skin glowed faintly silver. Something was wrong. She stood, wobbling slightly, and looked in the mirror. Her eyes glowed brighter than ever. Her chest rose and fell like she had just fought a war. Her body was reacting. She stumbled toward the console and pressed the emergency button. Tom arrived in seconds, breathless. What's wrong? He asked. I don't know. She looked down, ashamed. My kind said I couldn't breed. that my body rejected bonding. But now my cells are changing. My temperature is rising. Tom's face turned serious. You think it's because of me? She didn't answer. He stepped closer. Villari, we haven't, I know, she said quickly. But Juran biology is different. Touch, care, emotion. It triggers reactions. Tom swallowed hard. Do you want me to leave? She stared at him. No, she whispered. That's the problem. I don't want you to leave. There was silence. Then she added, voice shaking, I'm scared. Tom placed his hand on her arm. So am I. That night, Villari didn't sleep. She sat by the window, looking at Earth's moon hanging in the sky. It was full, glowing, peaceful, but her heart was chaos. She remembered the last day of war, her commander telling her to charge alone, her fellow soldiers laughing when her armor broke, calling her useless breeder, laughing as she bled. She had believed them. Until Tom picked her up. Until he looked at her like she wasn't broken. Now, her body was awakening in ways she never thought possible. Could she really bond? Could she be more than a weapon? Could a small human like Tom really see her, all of her, and still stay? She didn't have answers, only questions, and one growing fear inside her chest. What if this peace was just a lie? The next morning, the alarms blared. Villari jumped to her feet, heart pounding. Tom rushed into the room, eyes wide. They found us, he said. Who? She asked. Your people. They sent a scout ship. They're demanding access to this facility. Villari's blood ran cold. No, she whispered. If they see me, they'll take me back. They'll study me. They'll want to know why I'm changing. Tom clenched his fists. I won't let them take you. You can't stop them, Tom. They'll say I'm a deserter, that I broke laws, and they'll kill you for helping me. He stepped closer. Let them try. Villari stared at him. This small human, this strange, brave, foolish man. She should have been the one protecting him. Instead, he was ready to fight for her. Something inside her heart shifted painfully, beautifully. Tom, she whispered. What if I'm pregnant? His eyes widened. His lips parted, but no sound came. She continued, voice breaking. What if everything they said about me was wrong? He took a deep breath. Then, he said, taking her hand, let's make them regret ever doubting you. And outside, the sky filled with shadows. War was not over, but neither was love. Villari had fought many battles. She had survived blades, plasma burns, explosions, but she had never faced anything like this. Waiting, hiding, feeling. The scout ship from her people had landed outside the human outpost 3 hours ago. It hadn't attacked. Not yet, but it hovered, like a warning, watching, waiting, whispering danger with its silent, blinking lights. Tom had locked down the building. Security shields, communication jammers. But she could see it in his eyes. He was nervous, and she hated that it was because of her. They'll come for me, she said quietly, staring out the window. They won't leave without my body, dead or alive. Tom didn't look up from the console. He was typing fast, rerouting power to shields, setting traps. I don't care, he said. You should, Villari snapped. They're faster than you, smarter, stronger. I've survived this long, haven't I? She turned to face him. Because you didn't stand next to a ticking bomb before. Tom stood from his chair. He walked to her slowly, calmly, as if her words didn't shake him. You're not a bomb, he said. Villari's voice cracked. Yes, I am. My body? It's changing, Tom. Every cell in me is reacting like I'm in a bonding cycle. But I've never gone through one. Jurin like me don't. It was always proof I was too big, faulty, too damaged. Tom didn't blink. Maybe they were wrong. They weren't, she growled. Her voice echoed off the walls. Her muscles tensed, glowing silver lines racing down her arms. I was trained to kill. Not kiss. I was raised to obey. Not love. I don't know what I am anymore. Tom gently placed a hand on her wrist, his skin against her glowing silver flesh. Softness touching strength. You're Velari, he said, and that's enough for me. Something inside her cracked open. That night, silence returned, but this time it was heavy. Vilar. I lay on the floor, her back against the wall, staring at the ceiling. She didn't want the bed. It made her feel small, fragile, soft. Things she wasn't ready to be. Tom sat across the room, working on a small weapon. His hands moved with focus, but his eyes kept flicking to her. She finally spoke. Why aren't you afraid of me? He smiled faintly. Because I've seen you scared. I've seen you cry when you thought I wasn't looking. You're not a monster, Velari. You're a woman, one who's never been given the chance to feel safe. She looked away. Her throat tightened. My people believe large bodies like mine are for war only, she said. Too strong for mating, too dangerous to touch. Our scientists once forced hormone cycles on me to trigger bonding. Nothing happened. Tom frowned. They forced it? She nodded. Monsters, he muttered. She continued. After that, I was labeled non-breeding. They made me a commander. All strength, no heart. And yet, he said gently, your heart's the biggest thing in this room. Velari laughed bitterly. Stop saying soft things. I don't know what to do with them. You're doing fine. They stared at each other in the soft blue light. The distance between them felt like an invisible thread, slowly tightening. She stood, walking toward him. Her body towered over his. Her breath was slow, unsure. You've seen how large I am, Tom. You've seen me bleed, break. Yes. Then why are you still here? He stood, facing her fully now. Because I see all of you, and I still want to stay. She stepped closer. Even if I crush your bones? Then I'll die happy. He grinned. She blinked, and for the first time in her life, Velari let herself smile. Not the grin of a warrior, but a real one, soft, nervous, hopeful. She reached out her hand. He took it. Her fingers were twice the size of his, but they fit. Later, they sparred in the training room because she needed to move. Her body was heating up again, not just from stress, something deeper. The bond cycle was accelerating. She didn't understand it. She hadn't even known. She hadn't. But somehow, her body was responding to Tom's presence, to his voice, to his care. They fought playfully, light blows and fast moves. Tom ducked under her swings, rolled across the mat, and poked her side. Too slow. He teased. She growled, catching him mid-roll and pinning him to the floor with one hand. Say that again, she said, grinning. His breath hitched. They were too close. Her body hovered over his. Her long hair fell around his face like a curtain. Her glowing eyes locked onto his. And in that moment, the teasing died. The air changed. Velari, he whispered. She didn't speak. She lowered her face slowly, inches from his. Do you want this? She asked. Tom's voice was low, more than anything. Her lips hovered near his, but then she stopped. She sat back quickly, breathing hard. I can't, she said. Why? Because if I touch you like that, she shook her head. There's no turning back. If my body bonds, it's forever. He stood, walked to her, and placed a hand on her cheek. Then let's make forever worth it. But before she could, answer alarms blared again. The scout ship outside had powered up its weapons. Tom ran to the console. "They're scanning the base. They know you're here." Valari's skin flared silver. Her heart thundered. She looked at him. "I have to." "Leave." "No," he said. "We can fight. If they capture me and find out I'm reacting to a human, they'll dissect me, Tom. Then what do we do?" She paused, then pulled out a strange, glowing device from her belt. "What is that?" "A failsafe. 1. Use only. If I activate it, it will erase all traces of my presence and memories of anyone who helped me." Tom froze. "You'd wipe my memory?" She stepped closer, her hand trembling. "If it saves your life." He looked hurt, angry. "That's not your choice to make." "It is," she snapped, "because I'd rather you forget me than die for me." Silence. Her fingers hovered over the device. He stepped forward and placed his hand over hers. "Then, make me remember. Make every moment count. So if I lose the memory, my soul still knows your name." Valari's lip trembled, and she finally whispered, "Then hold me. Just once, like I belong to someone." He did, and she melted in his arms. Valari sat alone, staring at her hands. They were trembling. She had once crushed enemy armor with these hands, snapped bone, ripped steel. Yet now, just holding a warm cup of human tea made her fingers shake. Base was silent again for now. Tom was outside, upgrading the outer defenses. She had begged him not to go, but he had smiled like he always did and said, "I'll come back, I always do." She hated how much she needed those words. Her chest felt tight, not with fear, but with change, with questions, with things she had never let herself feel. She placed her palm over her stomach, still flat, still strong, but different. Something inside her was shifting, and she didn't know whether it was her body or something deeper. The door opened. She looked up quickly. Tom walked in, sweaty, dirty, smiling. "They'll have to work harder to break through now," he said, setting down his gear. I added, 2 more kinetic barriers. "If that ship tries to breach us again." He stopped. His smile faded when he saw her face. "Valari?" She looked down. "I need to tell you something," she said. Tom stepped forward. "You're scaring me." She stood, slowly. Her long hair fell around her shoulders. Her violet eyes glowed faintly. Then she walked to a small storage unit in the wall. She pulled out a box, heavy, locked. "I wasn't just a soldier, Tom," she said. "Before I was sent to the front lines, I was part of something else, something darker." Tom waited, listening. "They called it the Purity Program," she continued. "A secret experiment within our breeding chambers. They wanted to fix what they saw as a flaw in female warriors like me. Said we were too big, too independent, not soft enough, not fertile enough." Tom's jaw clenched. Valari opened. The box inside were metal vials, black and silver, labeled with strange alien codes. They injected us, forced hormone cycles. They made us lie in sterile rooms while machines scanned our bodies, measured our cycles, pushed our limits. She looked at Tom. "I spent months in that chamber alone. Every scan said the same thing, non-breeding. They called me a failure. Said I was born to kill, not to carry life." Tom stepped forward. "You told me you'd never bonded before, never felt anything." She nodded. "Until now." They stared at each other. Her voice broke. "Something is happening to me, Tom. My body is reacting in ways it never has. I can feel warmth inside, growth. I'm not supposed to. I was broken." "No," Tom said firmly. "You were lied to." He gently took the box from her and set it aside. Then he touched her cheek with his rough, calloused fingers. "Maybe they couldn't see what I see," he whispered. Her voice cracked. "What?" Do you see? He smiled softly. Someone brave enough to carry anything, even love. Valari's heart twisted. She pulled away, pacing. I need to be sure, she said. I need proof. Not just feelings. Tom hesitated. There's a med bay. In the lower level. It's abandoned, but still powered. We can scan you. She turned sharply. What if the results say I'm pregnant? Then we figure it out together. And if they say I'm still broken? Tom stepped closer, eyes locked with hers. Then I'll still love you. Her breath caught. The med bay was quiet, gusty, cold. Long-forgotten machines beeped softly as Valari stepped onto the scanning platform. Her armor shimmered, reacting to the machine's pulse. Tom watched from the side, silent, tense. The scanner buzzed. A soft hum filled the air. Blue lights circled her belly. Her skin glowed faintly. Then a beep. A new light blinked. Unstable genetic. Signature detected, the scanner said in a calm voice. Foreign DNA fusion, early cellular bond confirmed. Valari's knees weakened. Tom rushed forward, catching her before she could fall. She looked up at him, eyes wide with shock. Her voice came out as a whisper. It's true? He nodded, stunned. You're pregnant. She let out a shaky laugh, almost disbelieving. I didn't think I could feel this, she whispered. I didn't think it was possible. Tom gently held her face. You're not broken, Valari. You're a miracle. But before the moment could settle, the room shook violently. An alarm blared. Warning. Breach attempt detected. Valari stood up at once, fire in her eyes. They're forcing entry, she said. Tom grabbed his weapon. We're out of time. Valari touched her belly. Then her voice turned sharp, like the warrior she had always been. No more running. The scout ship landed with a deep metallic screech. Its engines roared, then quieted. Doors hissed open. A tall alien stepped out, wearing deep crimson armor. His face was sharp, cold, and familiar. Valari stepped into view. Commander Solon, she growled. He tilted his head. I see the rumors were true, he said. You've been nesting with a human. Tom aimed his weapon. Back off. Solon smiled. Still playing hero, little man? Cute. Valari stepped forward, between Tom and Solon. I've changed, she said. He raised a brow. Changed? You're still a failure. The program marked you as non-breeding. Her hand fell to her belly. They were wrong. For a moment, Solon's face cracked. Shock flickered in his cold eyes. You're carrying hybrid life? He said. My life, Valari replied, and you will not touch it. He reached for his weapon. Tom stepped beside her. You'll have to go through both of us. Solon hesitated, then laughed. I don't need to kill you, he said. I just need to call the High Genetic Council. When they find out, they'll take the child. Valari's eyes burned. You won't live long enough. And then, without another word, she charged. The storm outside the cave had turned violent. Lightning danced across the alien sky, throwing eerie blue light through the cracks in the stone. Thunder rolled like distant cannon fire. Inside the cave, the human named Eli sat beside the towering figure of Kavra, her glowing eyes barely open, her breath shallow and uneven. She was burning up. Kavra's thick, scaled skin usually shimmered with strength, but now it was dull and trembling. Her body, once a fortress of power, had become fragile, overwhelmed by an alien infection that even her warrior blood couldn't fight off. And worse, there was something else. Her body was changing. Stay with me, Eli whispered, gently wiping sweat from her temple. Come on, big girl. You don't get to leave me now, she groaned, barely conscious. My body doesn't know what it's doing. This isn't normal. Eli wasn't a doctor. He wasn't even a soldier anymore. Just a man with dirty hands and a stubborn heart. But one thing was clear. Kavra was sick with something deeper than a wound. And then her hand jerked, grabbing his wrist. "I can feel it," she hissed weakly. "Something's growing inside me." Eli froze. "What do you mean?" "I'm not supposed to breed. I'm defective," she said, her voice cracking, like it hurt her to speak. "My kind cast me out when I failed the fertility trials. But now my body is reacting. It's shifting, preparing." Eli's mouth went dry. It didn't take a genius to connect the dots. "You're pregnant?" A beat of silence. Then the warrior woman turned her head slowly toward him, her pupils glowing gold in the shadows. "Your species did something to me. Or maybe you did." Eli's heart slammed in his chest. He could still feel her fingers on his skin from those long, slow nights they had huddled together for warmth. How her body had responded to his presence. How her eyes had softened. The way she had clung to him, not just out of survival, but something deeper. Something primal. She told herself she was unfit to carry life. Now nature was proving her wrong. But the transformation wasn't gentle. Kavra let out a cry, not of pain, but rage. Her body convulsed, her muscles tightening like metal cords. Under her skin, Eli stepped back, startled, as her back arched unnaturally and her veins glowed with silver light. "Get away," she snarled. "I'm unstable. I could hurt you." "No," Eli said, stepping forward, grabbing her face with both hands. "You are not a danger to me." Her claws sank into the dirt, eyes wide and glowing like suns. "You don't understand?" she growled. "If this continues, I'll go into warrior frenzy. My kind, when we sense threat during gestation, we lose control." Eli could feel the heat radiating off her. Her body was trembling, every instinct screaming at her to run, to fight, to kill anything that got near. But instead of flinching, Eli pulled her against his chest. "I'm not your threat," he said softly. "I'm your safe place." Her breathing hitched. She stayed rigid for a second, then slowly melted into him. Something in her changed. The violent pulse of her veins slowed. The storm outside raged on, but the storm inside her eased. Minutes passed. Then, finally, she whispered, "You calmed me." "How?" He brushed a strand of wet hair from her face. "Maybe I'm defective too." She gave a broken laugh. Then, slowly, her hand moved to her belly. "There's something inside me. Not just a child, but hope. For the first time, I'm not just a weapon." "You never were," Eli said. "They just never looked past the armor." Her eyes widened, and a single tear traced down her cheek. Aliens didn't cry easily, and when she spoke again, her voice was smaller than he'd ever heard. "I was ready to die alone, but you made me want to live." Eli pressed his forehead to hers, eyes closed. "You're not dying. We're getting through this." But deep in the shadows, something was watching. The cave's far end shimmered. A soft, almost imperceptible hum in the air. Kavra tensed instantly. "They found us." Eli turned, grabbing the plasma rifle he'd kept stashed behind a rock. "Who is it?" he asked. She sniffed the air, her eyes going cold again. "Not my kind. Worse." Eli didn't speak. He didn't need to, because now it wasn't just about escaping a broken world or surviving together. Now there was something growing inside her, a future neither of them had expected, and someone out there wanted to take it away. Kavra stood tall, still shaking but alive with purpose. "Come," she growled. "If they want my child, they'll have to go through me first." Eli stepped beside her, shoulder to scaled shoulder. Let them try. The silence between them had grown loud. Renara stood with her back to the human, her massive frame trembling, not from cold or pain, but from something worse. Fear. Not of him, of herself, of the truth she could no longer ignore. Derek had never once treated her like a monster, even when she towered over him, her muscles flexing like coiled steel, even when her sharp teeth flashed in frustration, even when she'd told him that her kind only bred for strength, and she was too big, too flawed, too war-scarred for any of her males to choose her. But Derek hadn't stepped back. He'd stepped closer. He'd seen her scars and still reached for her hand. Now, the weight of that choice pressed against her chest like a collapsed star. "I don't understand you," she whispered, her voice hoarse. "Your kind breeds for love. Mine, we calculate lineage. We match numbers. And still you—" She turned, eyes searching his face. "You look at me like I'm beautiful." Derek stood silent, breathing slowly. He knew this moment mattered. He knew she mattered. "You are beautiful," he said gently, voice steady. "And not because of your body, though I'd be lying if I said it didn't take my breath away, but because you keep standing, even when the universe tries to break you." Renara's lips parted slightly. Her breath caught. "You've lost everything, Rin," Derek continued, stepping toward her. "Your home, your command, your identity as a warrior. But you never let go of kindness. You never stopped protecting. That's strength I can't measure." She shook her head. "But I don't know how to love like you. I don't even know if I can." He smiled sadly. "Then let's figure it out together. I'm not asking you to know everything. I'm asking you to stop running." A long silence. "Then, you really want to breed with me?" Her voice cracked. It was part sarcasm, part disbelief, part broken hope. Derek didn't laugh, didn't flinch. He reached up and placed a hand over her chest, right where her alien heart pounded like thunder. "I want to be with you. Greeting, bonding, walking, crying, I want all of it, if you do." She stared at him. Her breath trembled. Her claws, once always ready for war, now trembled like a girl on the edge of something too fragile to name. "No one's ever asked me," she said finally. "They only expected or rejected." "Then let me be the first." A heartbeat passed, then another dot, and then she leaned forward, not sure if she was falling or flying, and kissed him not like a warrior, not like a conqueror, but like someone learning how to be soft again. The kiss was awkward, warm, clumsy, real. When she pulled back, she whispered, "You should know something." Derek blinked, still dazed. "What's that?" "My kind. When we bond, truly bond, it's permanent. There's no one doing it." He gave a crooked grin. "Then I guess I better be sure." She growled softly, a purr more than a threat. "Oh, you better be human." They both laughed, something breaking open inside her, something that hadn't breathed in years. But just as that moment of warmth settled between them, the sky roared. A ship low, heavy, moving fast. Renara's face dropped. "No, they found us." Derek's face tensed. "Who?" "The High Clans," she said, voice tight with panic. "They're not coming for a rescue. They're coming to erase me, and now you." She turned, sprinting toward the edge of the ridge where the tree line broke. A sleek, black craft cut through the clouds like a sword. "You don't understand," she said, her voice low. "I was never meant to survive. They let me fall. And if they see us together—" Derek didn't hesitate. "Then we run." Renara froze. That answer. No judgment, no fear. Just U.S. "Do you even know what that means?" she asked. He nodded. "Yeah, it means I'm yours. Whether that makes me a target or not." Her eyes widened, and something primal, something old and deep awoke inside her. My male. She had always believed she was too much, too strong, too loud, too big, too broken. But in his eyes, she was just enough, and she wouldn't let anyone take that. Away from her. Not anymore. Not ever again. Tala stood beneath the pale moons of Euro's prime, her tall frame silhouetted against the shimmering lake where human and alien camps had finally merged into one. Her hands trembled, not from fear, but from everything else. From uncertainty, from hope, from love too big for her chest. The air smelled like fresh ion dew and blooming Miriam trees, just like the first night he had found her. Ben was behind her. She felt him before he even spoke. I heard the council approved it, he said gently, his voice low and human and warm. They're not calling you unfit anymore. Tala gave a hollow chuckle, arms still folded. They stopped calling me that the moment they saw your hand in mine. Ben stepped closer. Because I meant it. You always did. She whispered. There was a long silence between them. Not tense, just ... full. Then she turned to him, and he saw the storm in her eyes. It's not just about the council, Ben, she said. You've given up so much Earth, your command, your future. And for what? For an alien female who was once labeled defective by her own people, who still flinches every time you touch her scars. Ben took another step, reached up, and touched her cheek. For you, he said simply. She swallowed hard. You don't even know what staying with me means. I'm not like your women. I'm taller than most of your males. I'm rough, loud, too much. Ben smiled, and I love every bit of it. Her lips parted, but the words never came. Instead, he reached into his pocket and pulled something out. A tiny square holograph cube. He placed it in her palm. It shimmered, then projected a small 3D image of a tiny hybrid baby soft features, wide dark eyes, thick tufts of silver-black hair, and a curious smile. Tala gasped. You, this is... Ben nodded, voice steady but full of emotion. Our baby. The medic said your body adapted. You're going to be a mother, Tala. Her knees nearly buckled. Ben caught her instantly. I thought I wasn't built for this, she whispered, overwhelmed. You were built for everything beautiful, Tala, Ben said softly. They were. Wrong about you. Everyone was. A single tear rolled down her cheek. But what if I mess it up? She asked. What if I'm not gentle enough? What if I scare them? What if I can't? Ben held her, arms tight around her waist. Then we figure it out. Together, one day at a time. He leaned in, resting his forehead against hers. She was still taller than him, but it didn't matter. Not to him. Not to her. Marry me, Tala? Ben said. Not because of the baby. Not because of the council. But because I've never met anyone more worthy of love than you. Her breath hitched. You'd really stay here, with me? I've already stayed, he whispered. The only thing left is for you to believe you deserve it. She broke down, not out of weakness, but from the weight finally lifting. I do, she said. I want this. You, our baby, everything. He smiled. Then let's build it, together. 1 year later, Euro's prime was no longer a fractured alliance of cold diplomacy. It had become something else entirely. A symbol of what could be, when love was stronger than prejudice, when scars didn't define futures, and when hope was chosen again and again. Tala walked through the gardens, a small bundle resting in her arms. The child gurgled, blinking up. At the stars, Ben joined her, placing a soft kiss on her shoulder. You know, he said, I used to think I came here to help negotiate peace. She looked at him, amused. And now? He chuckled. Now I know I came here to find my home. Tala leaned into him. Then I guess you really are the dumb little human who held a broken alien warrior and got her pregnant. He laughed. Best mistake of my life. And beneath the stars, they stood warrior and soldier, scarred and strong, hopelessly in love, and unbreakably whole.